I felt like I didn't belong until I found my inner truth. Hi, my name is May, and I am your host of this podcast. I want to invite you on this spiritual journey to find love, acceptance, inner truth, and a sense of belonging, in spite of a multicultural background. Let's get together and overcome our issues with labels and stop trying to fit in boxes that were not made for us. Let's stop looking at what makes us different and see what brings us together without losing our authenticity. If you like the podcast, please give it a 5-star rating. This will give more people the opportunity to find us, or share it with someone who will benefit of it. Today, I want to talk to you about reasons why you feel lonely and what you can do about it. So let's dive right in. Have fun! Servus, hello beautiful people. Here I am back for another episode. And as you can probably hear on the background, I'm still on Hawaii while recording this for you guys. Today I wanted to talk to you about one topic that has been maybe not only speaks to multicultural people, but I think also to other people. And that's the part about feeling lonely. I don't know if you've had it, and if you've experienced, but I remember one of the first memories of really feeling lonely was actually when I think I had it before that, but like really conscious living it was when I had just moved back to Germany. I was over 18, so I was grown up, starting my whole new life on my own 2 feet, living by myself. Well, not really by myself, but my parents had rented a little room for me at one of their friends' houses so that I wouldn't be that alone, right? But that friend of my parents had gone off for the weekend, and I remember coming back from where I was learning and working, and I think I called one friend, wasn't able to reach that person. Of course, back then we didn't have cell phones like today, no WhatsApp, no Messenger. And I didn't reach one friend, I didn't reach the other friend. And then I was sitting there and I was like, oh man, they all, they all went out some places and they're having a good time and I'm not there with them. And I just felt alone, like really alone. And that's like logical, right? No one was there, so I couldn't reach anyone. So of course you're going to feel lonely in that moment, right? But what really struck me was a little bit later than that. I was with a friend, a long time friend. And I remember that we hadn't seen each other for a year, which isn't really a long time if you're really good friends. And I remember I had done everything so that we could reconnect. But I got there and somehow we, we couldn't find a moment to speak, a moment, to talk to each other. There were so many other people, and I was really surrounded by so many people, but I felt lonely in that moment. And that was the first time that I realized how it could feel when you're lonely. Truly lonely, because I feel like, of course, if no one's talking to you right now, that could give you a feeling of loneliness, but hey, probably you're just not reaching people, so you try the next day and that changes everything. But when you're surrounded by a bunch of people and you still feel lonely, that is really sad. That was the first time, and it happened a couple of times before before my whole changing, like my sickness, my depression and stuff. And one of the things that I realized now that I have come into my own strength and into my inner truth is that I actually don't feel lonely anymore. And the last time I did, I have to admit, is a couple months ago. But also there, I realized what the topic was. And it was that I wasn't connecting. And I wasn't connected to myself. It didn't have anything to do with anybody else except being connected to myself. So I realized that I was feeling lonely, and I took that moment, embraced it for myself, and started to ask, what do I need right now? What do I want to do right now? What can I do to give myself that? You know? What can I do to reconnect with myself? And I started by taking long walks at the beach, because back then I was in Thailand. And it was really, really beautiful for myself to do this reconnection. So one of the things that I've figured out for myself, why we feel disconnected is actually, or why we feel lonely, is because we are disconnected. Another point that I've realized also, why we sometimes feel lonely, is because you haven't, like when you haven't found your tribe. And I like that part so much about it, because it's not about actually finding, your tribe, is acknowledging it. Because sometimes you are already with your tribe. You are already with the people that are supposed to be surrounding you. But because you are concentrated on other things, you might actually feel lonely because you think they're not there, or maybe you really truly need to find your tribe, meaning what are your kind of people. I want to give you 2 examples, because I remember feeling sort of lonely as well. One of the moments that I felt lonely, because I felt lonely a couple of times in my life. So one of the times that I felt lonely was because I wasn't acknowledging that my friends were there, but because I was taught, or somehow for myself, I figured that I had to be the lonesome warrior, I had to do everything by myself. So I would, take care of things on my own. And I wasn't able to ask for help until I found out, hey, there are really friends there, and they're there for me. But if I don't reach out to them, they're not going to know that I need their help. So, but to be able to know that they are there, I had to acknowledge that. So on one hand, I want to invite you to acknowledge whatever friends you actually have, or family, maybe even really truly family that is there, that's supporting you, that's there on your side, that watches over you, that wants to support you, but it's only waiting for you to say, hey, I'm here. Hey, I need your help. And I want to even extend this, because this is not only for physically friends and physical family. This also is for spiritual people. Whoever you find are your spiritual guidance, because your spiritual guidance is there. It's just waiting for you to say, hey, I need help. And that's also an addition, because this brings it to a complete different level. If you truly acknowledge who your guidance, or how, maybe if you don't like the word guidance, make it your universal family, your spiritual family, who's out there supporting you and just waiting for you to say, hey guys, I need help. I need support. That's also one part that's going to help you. Of course, we also need the physical ones. So that's why I'm putting this as one spot. And the other one is actually really like, if you feel you don't have your tribe, like you really don't have anybody around you, find your tribe. When I was learning to be a shamanic practitioner, my shamanic teacher taught me a lot of things, and he was my connection to everything shamanic, to anything that had to do with spiritual things, because he was my teacher, but it happened, what had to happen was that he died. And after he died, I really felt a little bit lost, because somehow my connection to the other shamans was gone. And it took me a while to realize he's not going to be back, because he's going to guide me in a different way, but he's not going to be physically there. And if I feel like I'm missing my shamanic people around me, I need to approach them. I need to go and find them, and especially nowadays, it's not very hard to find people that can be your tribe, that can be like-minded like you. I started searching for groups where you would find shamanic people. So I started going for that. Where do they meet? And then go and talk to them and go and find them. And I actually made new shamanic friends, and I'm grateful for that they are in my life. And it's the same thing when I became a digital nomad. It happened because I found groups on Facebook where digital nomads were around. So I went out and found my tribe, because I really felt like with them I was talking a different language, and I felt more home and more like I could be authentic. And that's the thing. Our tribe is the group of people that surround us, where we can be authentic, our authentic selves. The other part, another point or reason why you might be still feeling lonely is because you're not living your inner truth. Because everything inside of you is going, no. Because maybe you're afraid of living your inner truth. If that's so, I can only encourage you to find support. That it can be a therapist, but it can also be different kinds of support systems. Like I just said, find a tribe where you can feel authentic. If it's a true fear of yourself, I recommend find ways for yourself how you can, overcome that fear. And I'm specifically not giving you a special way out of this, because every one of us is different. So everyone deals with fears in a different way. And the last reason, which I find goes almost hand in hand with the inner truth, is maybe, just maybe, you're trying to please the wrong people. Again, if you're not living your inner truth, maybe you're surrounded by the wrong people and you're trying to fit in somewhere where you just don't belong. A German comedian once told a story about a penguin, that was surrounded by other birds, and they were all flying. So the penguin tried to fly, because it wanted to fit in, but he just couldn't. His wings are not made for flying. So he went on a trip around the world, and then he found other penguins and saw that they were not flying, that they were actually diving into the water. So he dove in the water, and he just felt so good because he was really, he's made for swimming. So the penguin just needed to find, the right area to be in. And so instead of trying to fit, because for me, the pleasing the wrong people is basically trying to fit in a place where it's just not your surroundings. So try to find the surroundings that make you feel comfortable, where you're comfortable at, where you feel good. Because those are the people that are going to be your tribe, that are going to be the ones that help you support yourself and support you living your inner truth. So those are the reasons that I find so amazing, that I have found for myself, because all of them, I've lived through all of them. Like finding my tribe, if it was with the shamanic people, then later with the nomads, now I'm sort of finding the spiritual nomads around, because I can't deny that on one hand, I'm a digital nerd, and on the other hand, I'm also a spiritual being, and I love being spiritual, but also being a digital person. So that's sort of my new tribe. Or maybe we are all creating this new tribe together, this multicultural tribe of people that have gone through similar topics, similar subjects in their lives and problems. I really don't like the word problem. I think I'm going to start using topics as the name for it. So we're doing this, we're going through this together in life, and maybe we can support each other and become each other's tribe so that we stop feeling lonely, because we're all going through similar things. And again, here we are, another reason for us to stick together, and another reason why I'm doing this podcast, and why I hope you are following as well, so that we can create this new community, this new tribe of multicultural people that are overcoming all those boxes that have made us feel lonely, because we tried to fit into the wrong boxes, and now maybe we can support each other to fit in the right boxes, and to live our own inner truth the way we truly want to be, and truly want to share this world with each other, right? So I hope this inspired you to take a look at all those points in your life to see, do you have your tribe around you? Are you living your inner truth? Or are you trying to impress the wrong people? I hope this gives you a little bit of an insight or a nudge in the right direction. And again, I hope you have a great time. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being part of this. And if you like what I said, I hope that you might share it with others and inspire more people. And thank you so much. And just be awesome and be true to yourself. Thank you, and servus.